Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Quiet Kenku. Today, episode 27 of Iadithis. I'm pretty excited because last session ended with a bit of a cliffhanger, I think. So it'll be fun to see where it goes from here. Um, by the end of the session, I'll say how many nat 20s and nat 1s we got, because if it's anything like last session, it's going to be a ridiculous number. But with that being said, I do want to go over a couple announcements that both have to do with this and a couple that don't. Um, as far as with the D&D stuff goes, I'm going to be... I look ridiculous right now. I'm going to... just caught myself in the side of the screen. Um, as far as D&D goes, I'm going to be updating the layout for stream. I'm actually going to be fancying it up a little bit, so that'll be something I'm working on. Kind of related to that, I'm also working on getting, because on Twitch you can give bits and like subscriptions and things. Obviously you have to pay for those, which obviously don't if you can't. But I'm going to be making some special badges and emotes that you get for those. I did already. If you guys are on Twitch, you can see that the channel points have been updated. They have their own little icon rather than the standard one, them being gold pieces. So that's fun. You get channel points just from watching. And that's all the updates really for that. I mean, I'm posting more on YouTube and Twitch, so you can go see that. Clips from like this and other stuff are going to get posted throughout the week and into next week. I'm going to be making a bunch of those. Um, I think that's it. I think that's really all for that. But
I have a question for troubleshooting reasons.
yeah,
If anyone else can check the YouTube version of the stream, I cannot seem to get the chat panel to work.
I will say that is an issue I've been having lately as well, like the live chat. Um, that's not just you. I, even as the creator, I've been trying to get it to work lately, and it's been,
It just worked.
yeah, it's really annoying to get to work. I usually have to go through like a workaround just to get it pulled up. Um, but yeah, speaking of which, I'm gonna pull that up. There we go. Thank you for your message in there, Connor. Um, okay, so recap time.
New troubleshooting issue.
Oh
Because
God.
never mind. It started working again. Ignore me.
Okay, ignored. um, recap time. So, last session, the party had been sort of on their way to rescue Boulder previously. They made their way to Norfolk, found Boulder, and found that he was sort of under the thumb of the rival clan, the Boundless Mossy Wood. Boo. Um, well, they were this sort of tribe of murderers, but also traffickers. They were stealing people to send them somewhere to locations that at the current moment you're not aware of, but they were being sent and sold and trafficked to various places. Um, Boulder was doing this reluctantly, participating and luring people for this group to keep his people safe. So, you all wanted to get him out of this contract, gathering men and weapons and things from other neighboring families that didn't really like this group, and they agreed to help. So, gathering all these people together and some of your allies as well, you made your way toward the warehouse where the Boundless Mossy Wood was said to be holed up with the people. Now, you had decided originally to kind of follow Boulder in and do all of that, but instead changing your minds and heading it off, going there before Boulder would get there and just annihilating the place, which went swimmingly. With minimal damage to any of you or your people, many of the people you'd gathered very stab happy, you were able to clear the building, make your way into the basement, where you found this strange underground area. It's not just a simple basement. It was these winding hallways, secret doors, some hidden by magic. Behind one of the doors being these small creatures swimming in a murky, salty, briny liquid, which you had dealt with. Um, you had decided to just deal with that and be done with it. Continuing on, you ended up finding the last of the Boundless Mossy Wood, we'll call them soldiers, I suppose, holed up in a room. The only exit being the room, the doorway that you came through, or a hole in the center of the room. There was also a altar and a sort of throne on the one side. They spoke of a strange man that made them so afraid they would rather die than see him again. And so you dealt with them. You gave them their wish. Many of them falling in the hole, Seth almost falling into the hole and dying. But you made your way out, and as you made your way out, this was actually Edna. Edna, you had sent upstairs to see what was going on. Mainly sending Edna because you had been told by the last of these soldiers that um, the people you were here to save were in the boxes. Many of them in the boxes. So Edna being fast and being capable, you'd sent upstairs. Edna took a look around, went back downstairs, and said, "Everything's on fire." And you said, "What?" "Everything is on fire." So going up and seeing it is choking with smoke, it seems that the people you had left up there, the ones that you had hired off the street, with promises of violence, had gotten a little more into it than you'd hoped. And so they began just torching the place, knocking over lampposts, and everything starting to catch fire. Many of them fleeing, some of them not, dying because of smoke inhalation. Um, you made your way out, back to the tavern, uh, but not before finding Seedling in one of the boxes in the warehouse. And then you go outside with Seedling in your arms, and Boulder and Seedling are standing there. Seedling is in your arms. Seedling is standing there. This is very confusing. And so, with a bit of tension, you all decide to get out of this place and go back to the tavern and discuss it there. The Seedling in your arms just very confused. Not just at a copy of them, but they don't seem to have any recollection of the events being found by you, none of it. So, fast forward here. Eventually, you all end up back in the tavern room. You're trying to figure out what's going on, and then it is revealed that the Seedling that had been with you is, surprise, not Seedling at all, but rather a figure that identified themselves as Keen. Now, for a point of reference, there's only one of you here that would even have a chance of knowing who that is, and that would be in Chiron. Because in Chiron, you are from the
I
city.
know who that is.
Yes. Nobody else here would know who this person is. But in Chiron, you do. What you know is they were the person whose name was spoken the day that Kingsport was destroyed. Their name was spoken across the city. And then the city was destroyed. So, with that, you're all in the room. This figure has unmasked. They no longer look like Seedling. What you see before you, as they pull back the hood on their cloak, is a what appears to be a half orc. Man or woman isn't super clear. It's a bit androgynous. Many scars across the face. One of the sort of tusks are a little bit chipped and cracked. They have a bluish tattered shawl across the one shoulder and a few items across their person. You do see a weapon, being a sickle on the one shoulder or the one hip. There's also a pocket watch in the one pocket. And they're wearing what looks sort of like tattered monk's robes. No shoes or gloves or anything, just wraps. Very dirty. And then, of course, this cloak that's just kind of like loosely across the shoulders. They look to you and they say, "First off, I'd like to say sorry for putting you through the betrayal." Looking mainly towards Sapling. I can understand that this might be a bit frustrating. Might anger many of you. Now, in Chiron, do you think you would have made any type of face hearing the name?
Yes. He is a bit tired right now.
Mhm.
He just did a lot of manual labor.
Yes.
And but he is pretty much just, I'd say he's glaring a little. He's kind of just staring them down, not saying anything.
Mm. Okay. They'd kind of give you a glance and say, I suppose you know who I am then. Or at
I
least a
do.
little bit. Though you probably don't know all what I've done, and that's okay. We can get to that in time if you're ever curious. Now, first off, I want to say again, I apologize. Wasn't... There's a lot I could go through right now, but I don't think it's all very important. So, what I'd like to say first and foremost is you all did me a great service, even if you don't know that you did. I've been away a long time. I was weak, and you gave me what I needed. So, with that being said, thank you. The tension and fear drips off your group like fine wine. At least some of you, kind of looking over at Seth, more than others. Now, you have your actual friend back, kind of nodding their head towards Seedling. So, hopefully we're somewhat square, and that you don't take it too harshly. And they kind of just stand there and see if any of you have anything to say.
Yeah. Quick question.
Hmm?
Why did you do this?
Great question. The simple answer is... Let me ask a question first, pointing toward Encheiron. Do you know what I am?
Well, I'm quite familiar with... Yes.
All right. Would you like to share with the class?
This, was the, deity of fear, the Fey deity of fear, who, commit a great... killed a great many people, and the other Fey gods left to imprison them,
Correct.
to keep them away from this world.
Correct. Now, there are a couple things you're ever so slightly wrong on that I'd like to correct. But for the most part, you're correct. I was born by Fey gods, but that technically doesn't make me one, if that makes sense. I was born out of the power of those gods, not necessarily the gods themselves. Therefore, I am more god than they were. I was better than they were. With that being said, I was imprisoned. They wanted to stop me since I was trying to end their reign, and I killed them. All of them. They imprisoned me in the Fae, and I killed them all one by one, till I was the last one left. Kind of thinks for a moment. And then I'm here. Now, why I thank you all, and the reason I wanted that clarification, is because I was weak. It took me everything I had to get back here, so that I could finish what I started. But since I got back, I could barely even walk. See, the Fey gods, without their power, they were still Fey. But me, born out of the power itself, well, when I'm that weak, I barely exist. If that makes sense. So, I needed a strong source of fear. So I went to Deathfall. I'd hoped that a place that was in a war-torn land would have enough. And it was like an appetizer. But then somebody called out, hoping that one of their friends was still alive. Looking over towards Sapling and Seedling. And it was just this hint, this, like smelling bread on the wind. This idea that they wouldn't be alive, that little bit of fear. It drew me in. So I took advantage of it and of you, and now we're here. I followed you around, eating up the little crumbs you left behind, and that followed you along. And now I feel good enough that I can go do it on my own. But I won't lie, I got a little bit attached, and I felt wrong leaving until they were found. So I might have manipulated things so that that would happen. So in a way, you're welcome. The fuck? Ah. Now, any questions? You've got the why.
How?
How? How what specifically? A lot of moving parts.
If you were so weak you could barely stand, how did you pretend to be somebody? How did you get his memories and his appearance and be him?
A fair question, and an easy one to answer. And he reaches into his pocket, or their pocket, and pulls out a wand. See, this was a sort of spare. Of course, the god of magic would never bring his actual wand of power along, but he had a spare. It allowed me to escape, and it allowed me to do that. Although now it's kind of, and he kind of taps it against like a desk. It's kind of a dud. It was like a focus for a bit, but now it's kind of, well, kind of spent. I had to pull out a few tricks. There was that. There was, kind of pulls out a small journal. I took some notes on things that I found. But as far as how I knew memories and things, that is just in my nature. I am no Serena, goddess of knowledge, but when it comes to knowing the primal instincts and fears, I have to know a little bit of information around that. Without that information, how can I manipulate it? How can I make you afraid if I don't know how? But a fair question. Now, there's probably another question eating at you. Maybe not. What now? Will I finish what I started and bathe the world in the most primal of fears, making everybody cower, tremble? And you see like a slight smirk at the corner of the mouth. As much as I want to, I can't. For one reason. I can't make people afraid if there's nobody to be afraid. And very quickly, things are going in that direction. Now, I have a slight issue. The gods cursed me before I left, before they died, but their curse is still here. I can make you afraid, and I can give you ideas, but I can't straight up tell you. And they kind of like are like struggling to say something. I can't directly say anything that would cause fear. I have to kind of go around it and make you guess and make you think. But I can't just do you understand? The problem with that is I have a thing that I want to tell you that would be beneficial actually to you and to a lot of people. But I can't because it would cause undue fear. So what I'll say is this. There is a group of entities, some of which you may have met, that have really bad plans. That will cause my ends to not come. The things that I want. I wish I could say more. But there are people out there you've met. I know you've met. They're all connected. And there's more of them somewhere. Now, I can't directly answer specific questions of who, or where, or what, but if you have other questions around that, I might be able to answer them to lead you in the right direction.
Why should we trust you?
Well, because as far as this goes, with everything else, you really shouldn't. But with this, as I said, I don't get what I want if everybody's gone. So I wouldn't lie to you about this. It wouldn't make sense for me to. It'd be like a wolf saying that if all the deer are gone, he'll starve. So he wants you to save the deer. Kind of looks over at Seth. You looked like you were going to say something there.
Have we all met them?
Yes. To be specific, you have not met all of them, but you have all met them. The ones that you've met. I'll also say you don't know. You know them, you've met them, but you don't know them. Not truly. Also, another reason to answer the trustworthy question. I did this whole disguise trick. That's not really all that hard. But you could kill me right now and there's nothing I could do to stop you. Not at this point. Honestly, not much better than you. So, kind of spreads the arms a little bit. If you wish to, you could. That's your call. But if you're not going to, I'll be going. Kind of gives a bit of a stretch.
Where are you going?
Probably make my way back to Bermsley, to be honest with you. More people there. More fear I can soak up. I mean, after all, I've got to take my place again, eventually. Although, I think after my last stunt, I won't go quite that big again. Just small things. That was a bit of a, what would they say, overkill. Though it worked. Can't deny it worked. Though I will say I'm a bit more humble now. I was a kid, practically, when I did that. I've had a couple 100 years to think it over. Time in the Fae works weird. So, what was it for you, about 30? 30-something? Yeah. Maybe. Couple 100 for me. So, yes, Bermsley.
Why us? There's gotta be a ton of other people out there who have fear.
Yeah. Honestly, there is. Tons of people. So many people full of fear, especially nowadays. When I popped up, I mean, it was a flood compared to how it used to be. But bad luck. Honest answer. Bad luck. I just happened to hear you. To hear the call. That, and I think at the time there was a lot of fear over a certain, again, I can't say it directly, a certain bald physician. I believe you just heard about him around that time. And so it kind of coincided.
I'm not afraid of him.
Sure you're not. For sure, of course not. Yeah. But honestly, it was bad luck. I wish I could say you were destined to hear from me, but while you may be destined for a lot of things, that wasn't one of them. I just happened to be there. Anything else? I mean, I'll be around. I'll be in town next time you're in there, but, you know. If you had any more concerns now. Or if you wanted to take me out so I can't hurt anybody else. Like the heroes you are. No? Alright, well, I will part with one final gift. If you choose to take it. And they will, from around their neck, produce what looks kind of like a handkerchief. But you can see on the outside it's very just plain white. The inside, it looks like the interweaving of black with some white dots, some yellow dots here. Kind of looks like the night sky stitched into a piece of cloth. And just kind of holds it out. This was a generous gift from one of the gods. One of the Fae gods, as you call them. I know that I went and did a lot with you, looking mainly towards Sapling. And it may be sad that your friend there doesn't remember any of it. If you want to catch him up to speed real quick, got this right here. This is a strand of the tapestry of fate. A specific point in time. But that's up to you. You don't necessarily have to. If you want to catch them up yourself. But with this, it would be like they lived it.
How do you use it?
So it's an eye covering, just like a blindfold. So you just put it over the eyes, star side inward, and they get to watch the events happen, like a moving picture.
I'd like to insight check on this gift.
Yeah.
Like, I've been holding back on doing insight checks and everything this person says, but this, I'm not like. This could be very cursed, so I'm going to do an insight check on this.
Yeah.
That is 26.
100% truthful. You can tell, honestly, they seem very genuine with this, at the very least. Everything else, you're not sure. But like, but this for sure.
It might be good to hold on to, at least.
Yeah.
You certainly don't need to be having something like that.
For sure. And another detail, in case you decide not to use it for that purpose, you can use it to give yourself memories of a short period of time or steal them from somebody else. Just something to keep in mind. And just kind of sets it on a table next to them. Well, I'll be going. Probably see you in Bermsley. There was that attack, wasn't there? I'll go check that out. And kind of smile on the face. Opens the door. Gives one last look back at all of you. I genuinely did enjoy our travel together. And then leaves and closes the door. And you hear them walk away. So now it is just your group in the room with, of course, Seedling. And would you have taken Boulder with you? Would you have had Boulder come with you into the room?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So then Boulder, Seedling, and you guys, I'm going to say that Marcus and like their group would have gone back to Valve just to watch over things, make sure nobody tried anything while you guys were away. But so it's just you guys. What do you do?
Oh, what time is it at this point?
It's pretty late. It's getting to. It's probably around 10 at night. It's pretty late.
Well, this all sucks. Should we sleep on it?
Yes, I would probably appreciate that.
Well, shall we?
So you all choose
I'm gonna
to sleep.
go.
You're gonna go? Okay. All right.
Well, I'm taking my cat.
Mm-hmm.
To clarify, he's never been to Valve, I guess, but he's gonna learn. It's not like he has anywhere else to stay, and I'm going to invite my father with my eyes.
And so you give the eye look, and he goes, sure. And he comes along. And so the three of you make your way, you said, back to Valve? Okay. And then for curiosity's sake, where are the rest of you staying? Are you also going back?
I suppose, yes.
Okay.
If someone's going back to Valve, all of this stuff is there. It's more comfortable.
It really is. It's so much better there. Okay. What about
sticking with Dad?
Sticking with Dad. Okay. So it sounds like the whole group making their way back there. So Sapling, you're holding Cat with Cat Dad walking alongside. And Boulder kind of looks at you as you go and says, how are you holding up?
I need to rest.
Sapling, what about you?
Well enough.
Well enough. He's gonna do an insight check on you, Sapling. Gonna do an insight check on you. Dad's concerned.
What do you know about me? You don't know what I am. I'm only your son. Why do you care?
I will tell you that's an unnatural 20.
Hey, unnatural 20. The other 20 even.
Oh shit. Okay.
What
we could do I'll give you an option. We could either roll off for it, or I could give you like an ambiguous answer here.
Honestly, I
He's
wouldn't
the one
even
getting
be
the answer.
upset.
Oh,
Yeah,
say again, you cut out a little
honestly, I wouldn't even be upset if fatherly insight beat the same roll. I would be completely fine with that.
You know what? If you're chill with it, we'll go with it. And he kind of, you say well enough, and he kind of squints the eyes a little bit, furrows the face, and just, I think we should talk when we get back. I think we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So after a little bit more walking, you all get back to Valve. It's dark out. You have the moon high above. You can see there are lights on, so the others did make it back, and nothing's on fire, so that's a plus. So you guys all make your way onto Valve, and I'm assuming in Chiron you beeline straight for the bed. Oh, you are muted.
Probably clean up a little bit first, and then to bed.
Valid. Okay. And what about Seth? You as well? Going to bed, or is there anything you want to do beforehand? Contemplation.
He's gonna actually go to the training area, try to get a little more used to the new arm.
Okay. Make me an athletics or acrobatics check.
Acrobatics 19.
19. You are trying to get a little more a little better in the dexterity department with it at the current moment, and so taking some time to use that, practicing like you normally would, but mainly focusing on that arm. You're getting better with it. It's just very strange. You are lucky enough that you did get it pretty soon, like pretty recently after having an issue with the old one. So it's kind of like it could be worse. You are getting used to it. And then Edna, is there anything you want to do before bed, before going to sleepy time?
I got nothing.
Nothing. Okay, so you go to bed. Now, Sapling, you take Cat, take Dad. Do you all go up to your personal room, or do you stay in one of the common areas?
Might as well go back to my pad.
Okay. Sapling sees it and is like, sees like the whole place, but then especially the room is like, whoa, like what is all of this? Because I mean, you don't even know like what areas they've been in. I mean, for all you know, at the current moment, it was woods, capture,
Box.
box. So like, just seeing the place in just awe, like big cat eyes. And Boulder looks also very impressed, but much more like the humble kind of, oh, okay. Very nice. Which when you guys get to the room, door shuts, and Sapling says, or sorry, Seedling says, wrong, you don't say, Seedling says, this place is all yours?
Yep.
Wow. Kind of looks over at Boulder, and despite the trauma, is just like wonder. Boulder looks at you, gives a nod of approval, and says, "This is a nice place you have here. This is where you stay most of the time?"
Well, we do a lot of stuff outside, but this is the home sweet home to rest your head or whatever.
That does bring to me a question. How are you really doing? I mean, from what it sounds like, we may have lost some back there.
Well, it does seem as though that may be the case. And it's just a lot right now. There's the reuniting, and that it wasn't as warm as expected. And then the whole issue with the what's his face and the fake ceiling and it's just a lot.
I know. But it seems we have some time now, and I did notice something. As I was looking through some of the windows, there were some boxes that were open, even before you went all looking. There may be some that escaped. We just have to find them.
Good. That's good.
There is the other matter of a new home. Our old one is gone. We do need a new place to call home. A permanent place.
Well, obviously, when we find other people, it'll be a different story from right now, but right now there's plenty of room here.
Gives you a little bit of a smile. That would be appreciated if that's not too much bother.
Too much bother? Really?
Well,
it's
is a
not too
big
much of a
place.
bother. It is a big place, and it'd be great company.
I'll make sure to pull my weight, of course.
Please don't. It's been
And you can kind of
how
see him. He's
long?
been like rubbing his hip a little bit. He's got like he's got a sore back. He's just like, I'll do what I can.
You don't need to do anything, really.
I don't know how to thank you.
You don't have to. You already raised me. And free lodging is a pretty cheap payback.
All right. Well, I do appreciate it, and for the record, as you said, I may have raised you, but I think where you are now is all on you. And you're doing good, I think. And he kind of yawns a little bit. I hate to cut it short. I think I need to get some rest.
Go ahead.
And at that point, like, one of the others was kind of walking the halls and make sure things are like shut off and everything, windows are shut, and we'll say it's Marcus, and he comes around and is like, oh, and he like converses a little bit with Boulder and then shows him to a room, one of the spare rooms. And Seedling kind of looks up at you and says, so where do I stay? Where did I stay?
Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure we shared a room.
You did share a room.
Okay. Well, when you were here, the other you, we shared a room.
Oh, okay. And just immediately like starts like kind of wiggles out of your grasp if you're still holding, and just like curls up on the ground.
In a room.
Oh. It's like, oh, okay. And then
not this room.
Not this room. Oh, okay. And then would follow you to wherever that is. Anything else you want to do before bed? If you want to have any conversation or anything at all?
No, I'm just gonna put that what was it? Glorified napkin in my pocket. Just tuck it away.
Yes. Yeah. If you do want to mark it down for later that you have it, you can call it the blindfold of fate.
Might be a good idea.
That's what I had it marked down on other stuff, so we'll keep the same name. Okay. So everybody, at some point, goes to bed, it sounds like. Seedling gets some much needed rest, as do the rest of you. The night goes by uneventfully. There is no bumps in the night that wake any of you out of restful slumber. There's no sounds of explosions off in the distance. It's, for such a hectic day, it's a pretty calm night. And one by one, you all wake in the morning. And there is a voice over the loudspeaker that isn't Valve, but rather is Max. And he says, if I could see somebody down in the main lobby, Sapling, Seedling, Boulder, any of you would probably be best, but anybody works. we have some people here that are asking to see one of you. So who all goes down?
I will probably.
I'll go.
So those of you that go down, you head down, and
In my jammies.
in
Glass
your
of tea
jammies.
still.
Hell yeah.
So true. In my jammies.
In your jammies. I'll say Seedling goes
kidding.
down Boulder as well. Make their way, and Max is standing in the foyer with a couple of the other people. But he motions you all over. These people apparently have been out there all night, and Valve told them very politely to wait because you were all sleeping. I don't believe that they threatened anybody. Valve, I mean. And you hear over the speaker, "No, I did not threaten anybody. They were very polite and listened. I didn't even have to use lethal force." And Max says, "Thank you. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know they had lethal force. Anyway, so if you could follow me, they're just outside. They set up tents. And you follow Max
Valve,
out.
please don't use the lethal force option.
Lethal force, not an option. Understood." Max just kind of, you see him like look up at the structure and then shiver a little bit. Still creeps me out. And so he heads down and brings you all toward like the edge of the structure, and then just motions downward, and you see there are tents set up with a bunch of people that are currently stirring in the morning as well, many of which being tabaxi, and a few that you recognize, Sapling. There's only about a dozen people here, which isn't a ton, but about a dozen people who are stirring and kind of look up to the edge and hurriedly say some things amongst each other. And Boulder says, "Well, I think some of them did get out then. Should we invite them in?"
Yeah.
All right. Well, then he'll just kind of like motion a few of them up and show them like where to get up on it. They start clambering up, and you do see some faces you recognize. Some that you don't immediately recognize, people you may not have met very well, but you do notice a couple here. People that you would have worked alongside in some of your duties, and some that you may have, had idle chit chat with. But majority of these faces you can identify in one way or another as people that were part of the old tribe. Boulder seems a lot happier, a lot lighter after this. Just kind of like just a breath release. And they all kind of look over to you and smile, and Boulder comes up to you and says, "Well, we have more people now. Of course they can probably..." He kind of looks up at the structure. Looks over at Max, identifying him as kind of like one of the leaders of this place. Can we set up on the lawn out here? There's like some room. Max is like, "Yes, that's fine." And so the people start like moving their stuff up onto the platform. But yeah, some people survived, and now you have them. Now they're on your moving city block now. Boulder says, "Well, I do really appreciate being allowed to stay here with them. We will need a permanent residence eventually. Perhaps on your travels, we can look and see what is a good spot. I would need some help, so I'd appreciate any help you can provide in that matter."
Yeah, sure. I can look for residents.
Mainly, you know how we are. We just need some wooded place. We can make our own housing, of course, but it's mainly the boundless mossy wood is still a threat. That wasn't their whole tribe. So, I don't know what to do about them. I feel like anywhere we go, we won't be safe.
Would you be opposed to more of this kind of technology?
If it is the only option, I would accept it, but I don't prefer it.
There is a stretch of woods not that far away that is policed by somebody. We could introduce you. They're capable.
Who might this person be?
Oh, he's called Joseph Stone, and he and his people, they're quite capable of protecting and keeping people out of where they're not supposed to be.
Would be beneficial having a sort of guard present that would keep boundless mossy wood away. Let me think on it. I feel different than what we'd be used to. We're normally very independent. The idea of being even somewhat under somebody is different. But let me think on it. What would you think, Sapling? Do you think that could be beneficial? Worth it?
I think it would be. I think it could. I think it could be a good idea, a good compromise, I guess. Like, we probably can't fit everyone in a vow, and I'm sure you wouldn't all want to be cramped up in there anyway. So, a place guarded by a vow, but that's outside could be good, I think. I'm a little confused, but it's okay.
Oh, that's okay. No, you bring up good points, though. We'll think on it. But now that we're somewhat together again, a little more whole than we were yesterday, I think I can set some of my mind at ease. Though we will have a memoriam for those that we lost. But that will be for the coming days.
If you'd wish, I can offer my services.
I would appreciate that. Are you a holy person?
Yes. Have I introduced myself yet? I'm sorry, it was a busy
I believe
day.
you did, but I don't know if you mentioned that detail.
Oh, yes, I follow Hydros mainly, but I am trained in the in services of that nature.
I see. Well, that would be kind of you. Over the next couple days, we will go over things. We do not have exact numbers of who or what, so it will be a sort of mass memoriam, general funeral of a sort. But I'll let you know what I'll need for that.
I seem to remember you wanted me to contact somebody. Are they in this group or?
Kind of looks around. You're talking to Boulder, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm making sure you're talking to him, yeah.
The leaps over clouds person.
Yeah, I think he's gonna look... I don't believe so. No, out of the... I just saw the cat. So just the eyes poking up. No, I don't believe they are. No, they're not. Could be beneficial to still reach out if they are, in fact, still with us.
Alrighty, I can do that now. And what exactly would you like me to say?
The message has now changed. Say that in some way convey that this is a message from me, of course.
Yes.
We have found members of the tribe alive and safe. Where are you? Are you safe?
Okay, I will do my little sending. Hello, I'm Inkyron Laradrian, a friend of Boulder. We've found some of the tribe alive and safe. Where are you? We'd like to meet, and if you're unsafe, we can help.
Moment passes before you get a response. Let me actually grab my map. Okay. So, get a response back after a few seconds. I'm trying to get the... It's so hard to read, what the fuck? Okay. I am near Martzlock. I am safe. For now. Though this is a very hostile area. Mossy wood seen coming through. I believe that's all I'd be able to say really there. Now, Martzlock, because I believe you guys do have a map of some kind, is a bit to the southwest from here. You could follow the road and continue down. It's in a much warmer area. It's basically right in the center of the continent, like right in the center.
I will convey. They say they're in a Martzlock, and that they are safe right now, but there are more members of this group that are near. I'm sure that we can go take a... I'm sure we can go rendezvous and maybe bring them back if you find somewhere to settle.
Boulder's gonna nod, and then he's gonna kind of get a funny look on his face and not say anything for a moment. I just got a message back from them, who you just spoke to. They say Favia, I'm not sure exactly where that is. They say that is where the main base, the hub for the Boundless Mossy Wood is.
Oh.
That they could meet us there. But I'm not sure exactly where Favia is. Or Martzlock, for that matter.
Both are somewhat south of here. About in the middle.
Alright, they said they could meet us there. They would get there far before we did, I would assume.
Yes.
Okay, was there anywhere else you needed to go first? Would you be opposed to us going that way?
I don't think so. I'd need to ask the rest of the group. Do eventually need to make our way back to Bermsley, but I'm sure we can journey that way first, and then maybe circle just around.
It would be appreciated. And actually, in Chiron, go ahead, because you would have had to travel across that way when leaving Kingsport. So go ahead for me, make a history check.
Ooh, very good. That is a 24.
A 24. You would know that when you were leaving Kingsport back in the day, and even in more recent years, you would know Favia actually ended up being destroyed. Not for the same reason as Kingsport. It wasn't some large, massive explosion. You know that there was a tower in the center of the city. That it said somebody lived within, but it crashed down, and there was a lot of fighting amongst the city. That ended up ending in the destruction of most of Favia. There was some rebuilding efforts done, but it was never quite to the extent of what it used to be. And so a lot of different groups ended up moving in. Various groups. The vibe that you would have heard is very similar to Narfolk in the way that it's a bunch of like small groups together that kind of formed a city, but less crime ridden than Narfolk. Is what you would know.
It's an interesting place. Favia is somewhat like here, but less criminal. Though if the Boundless Mossy Wood is there, I'm sure there is still crime going on.
Boulder gives a nod. I will gather the people here and will be ready for whatever happens, but perhaps I'm just getting a bit vengeful after all the people I've lost, that we've lost. But I'm tired of hiding and doing what they want. If that is where their main gathering point is, I want to see it burn.
Well, I can't say I will lend help in that regard, but I will be there to support and keep people alive.
Of course.
That's his usual thing. But I'll help. Also, in Chiron, I need to talk to you after this.
Oh, yes, of course.
I'll help too. I also need to talk to you in Chiron.
Oh.
Well, I can get going so that you can do so. And he will give a nod and a thank you, and then we'll walk to 10 days people. He gives a he waves. He waves back. But he goes to tend to his people, so converse.
Do either of your talks or both need to be in private?
Nope.
No.
Mine's just a simple question.
Okay then, Seth, what is it?
Can I help with funeral rites?
Oh, yes, I completely forgot. Of course.
It's just something I know how to do.
Yes, you can help, and we'll make sure it's, well, not lovely, but appropriate for the event.
Cool.
And I'm going to just like walk with Sapling a little bit away from the people, because high insight, high passive insight.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how did it go with the whole mission, the whatever we did?
There is quite a bit to catch you up on. I'll say first off that the people that you recruited were a little bit unstable, and they caused a lot of destruction.
Well, that's okay.
Not
right. That place
particularly. A lot of the destruction caused may have also caused the deaths of people that were taken.
How did they kill people? Like good people?
Not directly, but they burned down the building, and the people were in the building. Some of them.
So do we know anything, like how many, or
no,
if
we don't know
anyone...
how many, but we do know that people escaped. A lot of the people out there likely did.
Well, that's good.
Yes. Another thing related. Seedling was one of the people who escaped. We actually got him out of there.
We've been traveling with him? Did they capture him while I was away?
Well, the seedling we've been traveling with wasn't actually seedling. It was a divine entity of fear who was following us and feeding off of our fear.
This whole time?
Yes. But they noted that you had spent some time with Seedling, and they say they felt bad, and the handkerchief that you have will help restore some of those memories as if this seedling lived them.
What handkerchief?
It's hold on. No, that won't work. It should have a starish pattern. Feels a bit magical. Yes, it has a star-ish pattern. It has certain colors like black and dark blue and yellow. It should be on your person somewhere.
Okay. I'll just have to find it then. So, property destruction. People probably died, and old seedling was fake, and now we have the real seedling. And there's a magical handkerchief that will bring his memories back.
Yes, that about sums it up.
Okay, then I'll need to find that then. Okay, thanks for telling me, for filling me in. I
Anytime.
appreciate it. I'm gonna go.
Okay. Well, at this point, what's the play? You have a possible thing you could go do to the southwest. You could also, if there's somewhere else you need to head, you could do that too, or you could do more stuff here if there's something you want to hunt down in this area or look into. What's the play?
Well, I think the play might be going to do the Favia quest.
Yeah.
The
I
make
have
sure
no qualms with that.
the make sure the seedlings people be safe so that we don't have to set them up with Joseph Stone, even though that would be fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. Totally. Okay, well, you gather your people together, get them in spaces throughout Valve, and you fire it up, start heading that direction. Let me do one quick thing. This here. God, that's bright. I'm blinding myself. Don't mind me. Trying to find, there's a thing that I used previously. Was it this? Yeah, there we go. Okay. There's this handy dandy little thing that I used to figure out how long this will take you. I'm just going to do that real quick. So, you are going... Now, you do have an option here. Fivia is surrounded on one side by some mountainous terrain. You could attempt to go over some of it. You are on a very large vehicle, so it is possible. It would essentially be a roll of the dice type thing. If you roll well, then you could cut some time off the travel because you're beelining it. But if it fails, it could take a little longer than it would have just going around. So it's kind of a 50-50 chance. What's the vote? Do we want to try and go over, or do we just want to go around?
I think we should probably stick to the established roads for now.
Sound group vote sound good? Go around? Okay. Well then, you will be going around. Okay, cool. I need a calculator because I need to do quick maths. Because on foot, it would be almost a month. However, Valve is fast as fuck, so we're not doing none of that. Travel duration per day. And it can go 24 hours a day because it does not need to stop. Because it's awesome like that. And we're going on unpaved roads. That's where the math comes in. Oh, that's right. Okay, so cool. So you guys will be there in about 5 days. So about 5 days, and you'll arrive at 5 days till you're at Fevia. Cool. So with that being said, it gets in motion, which Boulder, Seedling, all are kind of like, what the fuck? Because it just like it starts to raise off the ground and then begins to walk with slightly like bobbing steps. It's all of the people that have never been on this, which now is over a dozen, are all very confused. They're just like, what is this? And so it takes a bit of comforting until they're like calmed down, but they eventually just start to rock with it and go with the flow. Could I have one of you make me a perception check?
The perceivers.
Mm-hmm. This will be for like general travel perception, making sure that everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, I'm probably staying inside, relaxing, working on my painting, maybe.
Valid.
I can look with my eyes.
Look with
and
your
I can
eyes.
do math as well. It's an 18.
An 18. Well, with an 18.
An 18.
An 18. Well, with an 18.
Literally.
You're looking with your eyes, smelling with your nose, hearing with your ears, and looking after your cat, or cats plural now. And for the first, this will be for like the first couple days. First day goes by without much issue. You get some odd looks from the people of the town as you pass by. And a little bit later in the day, you do actually pass by, by another town, sort of on the outskirts of it, of Chepstow, which is to the west of where you were. The people of Chepstow, mostly like a farming town, or I should say like a cattle ranching town. They kind of give you some funny looks. You know, you get some funny looks as you pass, but generally, no problem. And actually, I'll say, because you wouldn't be able to do that 24 hours a day, I need somebody else to do a perception check, and this will be for the night shift. So we have the day shift, which will be sapling. Night shift will be... Okay.
$24.
24. Okay. So again, your night shift. So sapling, you switch out with Seth for the night shift watch. You can see that there are, as you're starting to loop around and go a little bit south, you're getting into the slightly warmer weather. Still frigid up where you are right now, but warmer than it was. But you're able to see that there are some lights off in the distance. To the northeast of where you are, back kind of the way that you came. You, now that the sun has gone down, the moon is up, you can see there are lights off in the distance, blinking occasionally, red lights. They're far off, pretty far off indeed, but you can just faintly see them. They appear to be on the ground, so it could be a caravan, a carriage of some kind, but they flash every so often. Something to keep an eye on, although nothing super close. Day comes, and so sapling you would take back over using your same roll from before, unless you'd like to reroll for the new day. But I'll allow you to keep the other. Okay. Keep the other. So you get up, you switch back off, and you do note one thing, which is way, way off in the distance. You can see a weirdly shaped cloud, reminding you of that weird storm elemental from days past, back near Joseph Stone. It seems like it's made its way a little bit more west, so something to keep an eye on, although again, it's pretty far off. Something that does immediately catch your eye that could be of some concern is up in the clouds. Way, way up there. You swear you see a shape moving around in them. Not like before with the storm elemental, where it was the cloud itself moving, but there's this darkened shape within them. And it seems to be just kind of following along with Valve. Occasionally it goes a little bit further ahead, a little bit further behind, but it seems to be somewhat keeping pace. When you turn, it turns, though it's staying just above the clouds, where all you can see is like a shape. It's long, it's oblong. And I'll say you see that about like
weird.
early afternoon.
Do I know anything else about weird fucked up clouds?
You could roll a history check.
I'm so good at this. That is a 9.
A 9. I mean, it's just nothing's really coming to memory, because previously, again, there was the storm elemental. That was like the cloud itself moving and shifting and changing, and like a face, and that's scary. This, does not look like that, but you're not sure what it is. Can't really think of anything with a 9. But you do continue to watch it for the next couple hours and watching for anything else. Aside from that, you don't really see anything else other than down on the lawn you can see many of your people just kind of getting together, eating some food, like gathering their supplies together and discussing various things. But Then it's about 4 in the afternoon. Dinner was getting prepared, getting ready. Somebody would have brought some up to you wherever you were doing your watch, or you could have come down to it and taken a break. It's about 4 in the afternoon. And you see the shadow grow bigger and more clear as to its exact shape and what it is. The first thing you note is brown, the color brown, as it breaks through the clouds, with dashes of silver and red. Looks like the bottom of a ship. And then it gets lower and lower. And then you can see that there's cables going up, but not to sails. They're cables going up to a large balloon on top of the ship. Massive in comparison to the size of the ship. Then it hits you. That's an airship. And so you see this airship coming down out of the sky. And would you be doing your watch from one of the upper decks, or would you have done it from like the ground? The bottom.
Yeah, probably from the upper decks.
From the upper decks. The building you're on top of is pretty tall. The building on top of it's pretty tall. And so the skyship gets maybe about 100 feet above where you are. And then you can hear in your mind, you hear a voice say in your head, we mean you no harm. No harm whatsoever. We're just passing through and happened to notice this. Can we get closer? And you can respond. Insight, yeah. By the way, this is message, not sending. This is just like simple message.
Gotcha. That is a 16.
16.
Oh, sure, fine.
With a 16, you can tell. I'm going to say it's kind of unclear. It's hard to really get a read on intention. They sound jovial, that's for sure, but hard to get a read on intention.
So how does message work exactly?
You can basically just respond. Essentially, kind of like sending, where you can respond in your head. There's just no word limit. Usually the rule is a short message, but that's kind of up for interpretation, like what that exactly means. There's no specific word limit like sending.
This isn't my ship, so I'm just gonna reply like, hold on, and I'm gonna go grab someone. Be like, yo, we got people.
Okay.
Probably like, I don't know, one of the important homies.
Okay, we'll say you find Max, the wizard, and so he's like, "I'll go with," and he goes up. Ted goes up, and he'd been inside the building.
Join.
Go to okay.
If I find out something's going on, I'll come up.
Yeah, I think most of you would be down in like the common area, prepping dinner and things. So he's just kind of like Max takes off his apron, puts down his soup spoon, and he like goes upstairs in a huff, and it's just like, fuck. What did they say?
They said that they don't mean us any harm, but they were flying and they saw this, and they, I think they wanted to check it out. They wanted to get closer.
Okay. In Chiron, you actually went up, and this works out well. He's gonna look to you. I know you're not as perceptive as this one over here. Could you take a look and see if that thing is... You have a more mechanical mind. Magically powered or mechanically powered?
Oh, sure, yes. I will take out my spyglass to look for that.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead and make an Arcana check with... I'll say that's going to lower your DC because you already have advantage, don't you?
No, I don't.
No, you don't? Oh, take advantage then. For some reason, I thought you did. You have advantage on certain things.
No, I just have a gazillion plus to Arcana.
True. Well, get advantage anyway with the spyglass.
That's a 24.
Damn right. Okay. So you take a look through the spyglass. You're analyzing certain parts of its structure. Airships are nothing too foreign to you anyway. Though they have changed over the years. They used to be strictly Arcana-based, but many of them have shifted to being more scientific in the way that they're designed. As far as you could tell, this is not Arcana-based in how it stays aloft.
This one seems a bit more mechanical in nature, so probably a newer design.
Good. I'll shoot a message back up, unless you're able to do that, correct? Pointing toward Chiron.
A little bit, yes. Sometimes a day.
Cool. And if they try anything, we'll blow a hole in their balloon. That's why I wanted you to check that. If they were magically based, we couldn't do that. But since they're not, we can shoot them down if they're a problem. Tell them to get closer.
Oh, I will try my earring of message, because they used message.
Mm-hmm.
While I was looking, did I see, like, a specific person that I could send it to?
Yeah, you see a few guys, like, hanging down over the edge, but there's one that looks a little more important than the others.
Okay, I will, point up and message, you can come closer. That's gonna be my message.
All right, you hear back. All right, let's see if we can maneuver this thing. And then it cuts out, and you hear some shouts from up above, and you can feel a little bit of air displacement as this thing gets closer and closer and closer, because there are some like weird propellers on the back. You now see there are some like large fins on either side. It's kind of like somebody just took a sailing ship and just smacked a bunch of stuff onto it, which in fact you can kind of see it looks like there's some crusted barnacles and stuff on the bottom, so maybe that's exactly what happened. They just never bothered to clean it up. It does get about even. The deck of their ship gets about even with the top floor of Valve. And there's a guy standing there. He's, I'll say about middle-aged, slick back black hair. That's kind of got like a shave down just the one side. He's wearing a very sort of tattered captain's coat. He looks a bit disheveled. And he walks over across like a plank that they set across. And he's keeping pace okay. The plank is kind of like going up and down a little bit because Valve is going up and down. You're doing this while moving, by the way. So he just starts like walking with confidence, sweating a bit across the plank, gets on top of where you guys are and says, I could have died there. That was very nerve-wracking. Hi. Sorry, who did I speak to previously? There were two of you that I did. It was you two? Okay. Max is gonna lean into well, I'll say in Chiron, because he can't quite get up to Sapling's ear. He'll go over to Chiron and just go like, I'm gonna go. If anything happens, just call me. Just send.
All right.
Yes, I'll blow them up. I promise. I would enjoy it so much. And the captain kind of, I heard that. You were meant to. And then he walks downstairs.
He's just kidding.
Captain kind of furrows the eyes a little bit. Well, anyway, the board falls as a little bit of gap gets between the ship and him. It's fine, we have more. Okay, well, we're merchants. We have goods, if you're interested. And you can kind of see on the ship they do have, like, crates and things on the deck. If you need any goods of any kind or interested in anything, we do have... None of you are cops, right?
No.
All right. Well, we have magical goods.
Ooh.
I know, we have some magical goods. Just don't tell anybody, and we're fine.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Good. Although, considering you sent us a message back, I should have guessed. Anyway, feds are everywhere. So we have some magical goods. We sell them at very good prices. Better than you'll find in most cities. Not to toot our own horn. And he kind of does like the toot the horn motion, and then the ship, you hear... we also have a flair for the dramatic, but that's, you know... But I don't know what your business on this thing, which first off, amazing, is all about. But, well, if you're interested, if you need any, I don't know, simple goods, more exotic goods, we also have pets. We run an animal shelter off of our ship.
That seems needlessly dangerous.
It is needlessly dangerous, like most things we do. Yeah, these are my merry men and women on my ship here. They're all wonderful. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Hobbenrud. Yes, we actually we picked up a man recently from a neighboring town further down to the south. I believe we picked him up, I think, in New Hope Port, actually, off the islands in the Giant's Tooth. And he kind of looks over. Where's Jean? Jean, where are you at?
No.
And he looks over,
No.
and this little dude comes walking up. He's like, "Yeah, what do you want, boss? This is Gene Eric. We picked him up recently. He's actually the one that he brought his animals. That's his thing. They're all very exotic." But yeah, and at that point they lay another board across. I'm gonna... Oh, fuck. I'm gonna go
Should we
back over there.
should we slow or stop for shopping?
Oh, I promise that's not necessary. It's perfectly safe to make it across, I promise. Watch, I'll do it. And he like starts... You know, let's roll.
No.
Okay, actually pretty good. The board does not fall. You do hear a slight as it cracks a little bit, but he hurries the rest of the way across. Perfectly safe.
I'll go. Valve, could you slow down or stop?
Oh god. Oh no. Captain's like at the edge where the board was. He's on the ship, but he's kind of like, you know, foot up on the like railing type thing. You say that and Valve goes, "Yes," stops dead. Like literally just stops dead. The ship keeps going. He's like, "Ah." And then after a second he shouts and the boat stops and starts backing up.
You can do some shopping. I'll go get the others. I will go gather probably someone from their group and Seth.
Okay. So gather the rest there, and
don't forget Edna.
Yeah, and
yes,
Edna.
Edna goes as well. Everybody goes. And they bring the ship a little closer. Put like an actual proper like wide board across and like tack it on both ends so it's not going to go anywhere. You know, this was a much better idea, the captain says. Much better. Hi, like saying hello to everybody else that's there. We have good goods, we have amazing things, Generic is here. We also have this other fucking guy who showed up a couple days ago and we're not really sure where he came from. And there's just this little short dude standing there. You've seen him, some of you have seen him before. The infuriating, the legendary, the one that everybody wishes wouldn't show up again, Dickman. And he's like, hey guys, how's it going?
Can I make a religion check to see if I know who that is?
Yeah, sure, why not?
While Chiron's doing that, Seth's gonna point. You.
Yeah.
I want to make a deal with you.
I don't. That's a that's a 5.
A 5. Okay, so in your head you hear, wouldn't you like to know, priest boy? Then you have a minor headache for a second, and then it fades.
Okay, then.
And Seth, you said you want to make a deal with him. He looks at you and goes, hit. Speak.
I want that arm back.
What arm?
The one that I traded you for.
Okay, we can trade an arm for an arm.
I'm not giving this one back, but I'd like that back. Not sure what to give for it, though. Things of value, not really my thing. That's numbers.
I mean, I don't want coin, so think about it. The captain comes over and kind of gives you you all a tour and is like, so we have Generic here with our exotic pets. We have that. He seems to have weird magical items and other artifacts, pointing toward Dickman. We also have some generic magical items over here with the lovely Anastasia. And then we have, well, I sell basically everything else. Standard fare, items. We have a whole general store running on this thing. So if there's anything you need, we probably have it. And we're also open to bartering and striking deals. So if you don't want to pay the full gold cost or you can't, we do trades. So, yes. You look like you have something, Seth. You look like you have something. Okay.
I kind of do.
What do you got?
He's going to pull out, at first, what looks like just a bunch of fabric. Really weirdly colored fabric, in fact. But then he opens it fully. Now get this for a second, right? Custom. One of a kind. It's the ugly sweater his parents gave him.
He's gonna hold his grubby little mitts out for the sweater. Please, may I see it?
He'll hand it over so he can look at it.
And he holds it in his hand, kind of turns it over, opens it up. It's a little big.
The bigger the better. Keep you warm.
Make a persuasion check.
Or that. 16.
Okay. Kind of mulls it over, gives it a little nibble. All right. But you want the arm for it? Really? I'll give you a finger.
No. I want the thing back.
Why?
Because it was mine and I want it back.
Well, technically it's not yours, but fine. And he takes the sweater and he pulls out the arm. He like pulls it comically from underneath the table, just like slowly elongating it. It goes a little longer than it should and keeps going. And then he collapses it down a little more and he pulls it out, hands it out to you. All right. A fine trade, I would say. This is the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Okay.
Takes the arm, kind of finds a way to hook it to himself. That's why I wanted to get rid of it. But thank you for the service.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome. Really quickly, it's about time. I think we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and then when we come back, we could do a little bit of shopping. It'd be fun.
Talk to
Shopping's
Dickman.
Hello, and we are back. So, starting from here, let me get my music back up. There we go. So the party's continuing on, but first, you're doing some shopping.
Shopping!
So, shopping! Okay. Is there anything specific that you guys want to purchase? I have a couple small things here, but is there anything that you think could be beneficial on the road ahead with your current task? Or just something you think that would be fun?
Well, I would like to re-up on some nice tea from the general store, because like I wasn't prepared for an elongated road trip.
True. Okay. And so, I would say for some nice tea, that's gonna run you. Or if you're wanting a good amount of it, I would say probably 2 gold.
Okay. Got that.
And I'm actually getting a couple things together here for myself. What about you, Seth? Anything in particular? I mean, you got your arm back, or the arm back. But anything else that you can think of that would be handy?
Actually, yeah, there is.
Ooh.
Especially since this place does have minor magic items. Seth doesn't know exactly what he's looking for, but I know what he's looking for. An amulet of proof against detection and location. There's just one small little problem for poor Seth. He can't count money, so he's going to go and bug... Give me a second, I'm just going to roll a dice and see who he goes to at this. Where is my... Sapling, buddy! Seth's going to come up to you. I need your help.
With what? What's up?
Holds up his coin pouch. I don't know how much I have. I don't know how much they're going to want from me.
Well, I will count
But I
his
need
money.
Okay. How much does Seth have?
110 gold, 16 silver.
Literally.
Could you maybe come with me so that I know how much to give them? I don't.
Yeah, sure.
I also don't know if it's going to be worth it or not.
Let's find out.
Just kind of gives a pat. Thanks.
So who do you go to? Because you know there are 2 people on board that could sell magic items. There's Dickman, although he's a little unorthodox. And there's also the actual magic item seller. And while you're deciding, I'm actually finding the item. It was the amulet of proof against detection and location. Or protection against
Yeah.
detection and location. Okay.
Amulet of proof against detection and location.
Okay.
As much as I think I might have to go to Dickman. There's always a chance I can convince him not to use coin.
Okay. That is what you've chosen. I'm trying to find the fucking thing. Let me find where amulets are real quick.
And of course, if it works out poorly, I can just go to the other guy and be like, hey, coin, take.
Fair point. I'm still looking, but I'll find it by the time you get there. This book is confusing, or this printed thing. Anyway, so you go up to Dickman first.
Yep.
And he says, "Ah, shit, you again. You gonna take more of my shit?"
Probably.
Fuck. What do you want?
Something to help hide me from someone that's watching.
Have you tried putting a blanket over yourself?
For that, I'm lowballing you on how much I'm giving you.
You know, that's fair. I can't even be mad about that.
Trust me, if that worked, I'd never leave my cloak.
So I got 3 options for you. There it is. That took so long. 3 options for you. Surprisingly, you're not the first person I've met that needs one of these. So I have the one that'll do exactly what you want it to do. Okay, it'll hide you from anybody trying to look in on you, anything like that. I have this one, and it's got just a bunch more gems on it. Does the exact same thing, but it'll also hide you from anyone you do want to find you. And then I have this one that sort of works. It'll sort of hide you. These are all different prices.
I kind of think I'd like the first one. I would like my friends to be able to find me, and I'd prefer it actually work.
All right. So he puts away the one with the less gems on it that he said sort of works. He puts that away. He puts away the one with a lot of gems that now you can see on the very end of it, like at the center where there is normally a large gem. There's a card, what looks like a tarot card that's been punched through the chain link. It says something on it. Sapling, you're there, right? You went with. It says Donjon on it. You're not sure exactly what that is off the top of your head, though. I mean, if you want to roll, you could, but
Fucking hell. Yeah, sure.
yeah. Okay, roll a history
not?
check or Arcana.
Donjon.
Donjon.
Donjon. You said history or arcana?
Yep, whichever you prefer.
They're both intelligence. It doesn't matter because I don't know shit because I got a 4.
4. Yeah, you don't know. You can read it, obviously. It says Donjon, but you don't know what that means. And why it's pierced through the chain. But he puts that one away, and he holds out the last one. So I can either... You know how this works already. We've already done bartering together. If you want to pay the money for it, I could sell it to you for 150 gold pieces, or an equivalent of money and trade. Or you can trade me something real special for it.
He's gonna pull out something that I've had just sitting here for ages. I don't know what the fuck the deal is. I don't remember where I do remember where I got it. He's gonna pull out 2 black unicorn teeth. That are a little rotten through.
Was that last part the last few words you said?
A little rotten.
Oh, okay. He's gonna take a look. Give him a sniff. Black unicorn teeth. Very rare. Very good mixed into a souffle. But I have to wonder, where did you acquire such a thing, if you remember? Was it from a black unicorn?
Connor doesn't actually remember where I got these from. I know
Probably
we
from
got
the
them
black
from something.
unicorn that we fought.
Oh my god, we did fight one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where else would you get them from, other than a black unicorn?
Well, I know a guy. But so those are some genuine black unicorn teeth. I see. I could knock the price down to 50 if you give me both. 50 gold, and then both of those.
He's gonna kind of lean back towards Sapling. Does that sound fair?
I mean, I'm not good with magic stuff, but I think that should be okay. I mean, what else are you gonna do with the teeth? You didn't have plans for them, right?
Could sell them for more, I think.
It's true.
Should
Harley doesn't really know, so I might inside to see if this is a good price.
Sure, why not?
I would totally insight, but Seth doesn't understand numbers, so that would go poorly either way.
And this is Dickman.
Dickman's amazing. We love him.
Normal
Yeah.
rules don't apply to Dickman. Fuck your rules,
No.
fuck your nightmares.
Fuck
No
you,
way
chicken
you got that
strips.
from.
That's an 18.
18? He sure thinks it's a good deal. Dickman. I mean, I would say, doing some math here, along with that, he thinks it's a good deal. 150 gold to start, knocking it down to 50 gold. You also get the vibe that even at 150 gold, that is still a bit cheaper than it would normally be. So taking a couple rotten teeth and 50 gold, probably a pretty good deal.
It sounds good. I think. Maybe. You should just do it.
All right. I'll make you an even more interesting deal.
Ah, fuck.
So, I'll give you those, and I'll pay you the 50 gold. But
Yes.
throw in something weird.
He reaches under the counter. He sets a sack. Like a full sack, bigger than he is, on the counter. He's like 2 feet tall. It's like 3. He just sets it on the counter. I got your thing right here. I'll show it in for free.
What is it?
I have no idea.
Is it possible that it'll do any harm to me, anyone around me, or Valve?
Kind of leans past you, looks over at Valve and a couple of like the other people standing over there. One sec. He's gonna open it up. He's gonna peek inside. Close it really fast. Peek inside again. Close it real fast. No. No.
I'm inciting him.
Okay. Okay.
$22.
Okay. The 22. He's sketched out by it. But he also is like very amused. So he could, gonna be honest, he could just be fucking with you, is the vibe that you're getting.
Deal.
Sounds good. Here you go. I wouldn't open it though. Here you go. It's yours now. And then you get your amulet as well. You pay the 50 gold over, and the teeth. Don't forget to give the teeth. He's very insistent about that.
Okay, I have a quick question because most of
Yes.
Seth's gold is platinum right now.
Yep.
How much is the 55?
5 platinum. Yep. Or whatever equivalent of how much ever. Okay. He's gonna say, nice doing business with you. You drive a hard bargain, I'll tell you that. But enjoy your bag. It's very light, by the way.
I will. And maybe we'll see each other again and I can keep making deals with you.
Maybe.
I'm gonna try browsing the normal item shop.
Perfect. What are
The
you
normal
looking for?
magic items. I'm not sure. I'm just browsing.
Okay. I can pick a couple items here that they might have for you. I'd say you're able to find a couple things. First off, they have a pen, greenish in color. honestly just looks like a normal pen, kind of stylized to look like it's made out of like jade, possibly. Though it does have a faint magical aura, so it is. There is something there, though exactly what it is, you're not 100% sure. They have what looks like a sewing kit, or rather, I wouldn't even say it's a full sewing kit. It's like a single spool of black thread and a needle. A pair of goggles, though these are not marked exactly what they are, but they are, again, magical in nature, and a few other smatterings of other types of small trinkets and items. But those are the ones that immediately catch your eye.
I'm going to go to the needle and the thread. What is this, if you don't mind me asking?
The lady running it, the one you were told, named Anastasia, she says, "Oh, well, this is, are you familiar with clothes of mending?"
Oh, yes,
Well, this is the type of thread that normally you would make that out of, can mend things together over time. However, this can be weaved into any fabric clothing item, and it won't immediately mend it, but over time, say overnight.
And that will continue happening?
Correct. It's only a one-time application, and then it'll continue to operate as it should for the duration that you have the item, the clothes.
That would be lovely. How much would that be?
That would run you. Since you're a first-time customer and you seem so nice, I could give that to you for 35 gold.
That seems quite reasonable. I will pay that for those.
Perfect. And so now you can mark down that you have a
Yes.
essentially like a spool of mending thread. It has, in case you want to mark this down, it does have 10 uses. So 10 pieces of armor or 10 articles of clothing can be enchanted in this way. This is essentially an enchantment focus with 10 charges. And then once those 10 charges are used, it's all used up. But the items that are now imbued with it have the properties of clothes of mending for the duration those items exist. Unless they are like entirely destroyed, like disintegrated.
Well, I will also, since I'll also pick up the goggles. And what are these? They seem interesting.
These are, let me go ahead and I need to pull it up here. That is not what I wanted. Nope, that is that is not what I said at all. Thank you, internet. Perfect. These are goggles specifically enchanted to allow you to identify the properties of other items. For example, if you were to put them on now, after tuning to them, you could then identify any of the other items I have here. Although it is only once a day.
Could be very useful, especially since we don't really have people who can do that. I suppose I could get these as well. How much would these be?
This would be a bit more expensive. I would have to put that. I'd have to put those at 150. Though again, we do barter a bit, so if you're looking for, if you don't quite have enough.
Yes, I have this. I know these are more mundane items, but I do have this tent and bedroll that I haven't had much use for ever since I've fallen in with these people, as well as. Uh, yes, I picked up this book. It is very interesting, and I'm gonna put my book that has the collective, the historical fiction novel that I have enjoyed in as well.
Okay, so tent, bedroll, and that book. Well, the book. Truthfully, I don't know that the book would knock off a ton. Let me see how much a tent and bedroll would knock off, though, because that actually I could resell, or rather, we could resell later. Somewhere in here. Oh, that's all armor and stuff. No, that's not what I want. I want this. Okay. I'm gonna say. And a bedroll would be. I could knock off about 12 gold from that. So I said, what I say, 150 before? I could bring it down to we'll say 135. I'll round it a bit.
Alrighty then. I can do that as well. I will get those, and I will pay mostly in platinum, but with 5 gold pieces, because I have some platinum on me, and it would be annoying to count all those gold pieces.
For sure. Okay. And so you get those as well, the goggles of object reading.
And I'll go see what Seth has been up to at this other place with the confusing man.
The confusing man. It seems like they're finishing up their transaction. Seth now has a couple has his item, and then a sack, which I will say in Chiron, you are magically inclined. You study these things and can see them. There is a faint magical aura around that bag. The bag itself.
That bag seems to be magical in nature. I can take a look at it later. I've just got something that can do that.
That would actually be kind of helpful.
And then I will, hello, sir,
Fresh meat. What can I do for you?
Nothing much. I was just coming here to look at your wares.
Ah, I got everything. Whatever you could want, I probably don't have it, but I have something close. So what are you in the market for? I mean, I could show you random things. And he starts like pulling out random things, a lit bomb, a rusty sword.
Well,
puts it back away.
I've taken to protecting and healing these people. Something that could help with that would be, well, helpful.
I might have just the thing for you. But I have to ask you, how much are these people worth to you?
Well, I don't think I could really put a price on that.
There's a price for everything, friend. Let's say this one, for example, pointing to Seth. How much do you care for this person?
It's hard to put into words.
Aw. Well, that's sweet. Here's what I'll say. I have something that might do you some good. Because, after all, it's a very dangerous world out there. But I have to ask you, do you have a preference of the form that this thing takes? Would you prefer it be a weapon? Piece of armor?
Piece of armor would likely be the best. I'm not one to use weapons that often.
Then how about this? And he's going to fish out a chess piece. It is simply the breastplate, so it could be formed with any other armor. You could essentially use whatever shoulder pauldrons or other parts of armor with it. It has a red gem above where the heart would be. That currently is dark, like a very dark red inset gem. And he says, so this right here, are you familiar with the spell Warding Bond?
I am, yes.
So, this kind of does that. Not exactly. It will allow you to, instead of taking the damage of someone else, you can store it for later. So you choose someone that you connect with. Let's say it's your friend here, pointing toward Sapling. Sapling here takes some pretty big hits. It gets stored in the gem right here. If you use it within a certain period of time, you can then give that damage back, some of it back, as healing to anybody, even if it's not the person you're tied to. And then you take the amount that's healed. So it's not all the damage that's given back that's healed, but about half.
That does seem quite interesting.
But again, you take it as well.
I feel like there are people in my party that would be averse with me using such a thing.
They don't need to know.
I look at Seth, who's standing right next to me.
He can't hear this. This is a private conversation. You can't hear this, right?
If I was standing all the way over there, I'd still hear you.
He hears a lot. He's very perceptive.
I'll talk quieter next time. You can still hear him clear as day.
Yes, is there something else I can
Sure. I mean, do you have any specific ideas in mind of what you're looking for? Because I might have something, but that was an idea.
maybe something that maybe something that can extend protection to somebody else.
Something like I think I have an idea. I think. Hold on. How about you? And he kind of fishes around in the back a little bit. Seeing here. Okay. How about this? I would say something like this, and pulls out like a little kind of silly looking. It's this little emblem that has some like really big eyes that have been painted on it, like really cartoonishly big eyes painted on it, but otherwise it just kind of looks like a man's face. And then it's got like a really big nose painted on too. It says, so you attach this right here onto probably yourself somewhere. You could attach it to your, I don't know, to your middle of your back, as long as you can reach it. It doesn't matter. And you can make something that would normally be very harmful a little less harmful. This is
probably.
I will tell you, this is something similar to the Guardian emblem, but not exactly.
Not exactly, because this is Dickman.
This is Dickman. It has a little bit more of a benefit than the normal Guardian emblem, but also a little bit of a drawback, which he kind of says. Essentially, you do that. However, it will cause you to be revealed if you were hidden in any way. If you were out of sight, people around you will immediately know you're there.
Well, all right. I don't tend to be the most stealthy person, so I think that would fit.
Okay.
And to get this, I'm gonna fish out my my not the same book, but my book on fatherhood, the one that Lee gave me.
Gotta kind of look at it. May I? May I see?
Oh yes, of course.
I'm gonna open the book. A single tear rolls down the cheek as he flips through. This is the sweetest thing I've ever read. You know, I was a father once. Nah. Closes the book. That was a long time ago. You know, us old people, we just live such a long life. We just gotta take care of the younger generations, you know. Oh, you're making me all emotional. I'll take it. Take it. He pushes it across the table. So now you have the sorta Guardian emblem.
Sorta Guardian emblem.
Yeah. Listen, if you're getting things practically for free, I gotta fuck with you a little bit and give you a weird version of the thing.
Of course.
Which I will have to get to exactly what that does, because again, basically Guardian emblem, but like when you use its effects, the next attack will more than likely be targeted at you.
Of course.
Because immediately everybody can just see you. Within a certain range. But anyway. There's that. Sapling, what about you? Do you have anything that you would like to get either from any of the people? It does not have to be from Dickman.
I have absolutely nothing in mind, but I would not mind browsing the normal shop. You know what? No, let's be fun. Dickman's shop. Why not?
Oh shit. Okay. Oh,
while you're here.
While I'm here, while he's here, while we're all here, all the cool kids are doing it, so I might as well.
Yeah. Okay. And so you come back over, you start to walk away, and then you turn around, Dickman's like, I knew you couldn't stay away. So let's peruse. Okay. Let's see. I know you have nothing specifically in mind, but he kind of looks you up and down, looks behind his counter, looks at the wall of rusty tools and things, looks back under the counter. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Please. I need customers. I'm so lonely. And he just turns away and he walks down his invisible stairs into the floor. Vanishing. Which you're tall enough, you can kind of see behind there. He just kind of phases through the floor. Like you blink, he's halfway in the floor. You blink again, he's just gone. I will say he comes back up hefting this big set of, they look like gardening gloves. But like he's carrying them like they weigh half a ton. So he kind of F's them up the stairs. He sets them on the counter, just boom, like they hit with this big boom. And then he also really just reaches in his pocket and he pulls out a set of horseshoes and he sets them down and they make no sound, like they weigh nothing. And he says, "All right, so, whew, I'm out of shape. Okay, so I have this thing here for you. Do you ever find yourself having a hard time getting around because of your size and physiology, stairs, things like that?"
Stairs are kind of hard sometimes.
Well, do I have the thing for you? So, these gloves here, not only are they fantastic gardening gloves, but they also make it easier to swim and climb, which also I could see might be a little difficult. And the horseshoes, if you combine them together, if you wear the whole ensemble, the gloves and the horseshoes, they also make it easier to get upstairs and things. You feel like you're gliding up them, essentially. You don't really have to take steps to get upstairs. But it also has the benefit, you gain a little bit extra speed, just in general.
And what's up with the gloves?
Well, they're just real heavy.
I'm not really. I know I'm really big, but I'm not really that strong. Can I? I want to try to lift them.
You grab them, they are just as light as normal gardening gloves. There is no extra weight to them whatsoever. How are you doing that? You must be a god.
Totally. Wait a minute. Never mind. Okay. Wait, so what exactly do that? They make you faster. Okay, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Out of it today. So it sounds good, but how much?
So, for the whole ensemble, it's a little pricey. I probably could let it go for about 50 gold pieces. Or we could make a deal.
What kind of deal?
Kind of waves you a little closer. Just a little closer. And then leans in and goes, "I don't really know, but this makes it look like we're doing something conspiratorial and making a really good deal." Yeah, you have to, not along, not along. Okay, so then, we're a really good deal over here. Yeah, so that'll make it
Great
look
deal.
better for me. Yeah, it's amazing deals over here. See, I think that's a great idea. You know what? Here, just slide it across the counter. Don't let anyone else see it. And just like, make a sleight of hand check. Dickman will also make a sleight of hand check. Oh god.
Got a 9.
A 9. Yeah, he got like a 2. So you both fail utterly at pushing this nothing across the table. He takes it, kind of like fumbles. He fumbles with it like he's holding something. He's like, and then puts the nothing in his pocket. He says, "All right, you enjoy those now." So literally all they do is normally swimming and climbing costs extra movement. It's half movement. With these on, no extra movement cost. So it's just your speed is your speed. You also get a +5 to your speed on all terrains. So that's cool. That makes you even faster.
Yeah.
One other thing is you get a +5 bonus to athletics checks. That is all athletics checks.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
this is
great because my strength fucking sucks.
yeah. It's essentially based off the gloves of swimming and climbing, but again, a little better. He does say, however, just one thing to note. Guess I should have told you this before, sorry. They don't work on Tuesdays. They work every other day of the week. They just don't work on Tuesdays.
Didn't you have your own calendar and Tuesdays don't exist?
That is correct. However, you just kind of...
What's a Tuesday?
Well, that's for you to find out.
What do you mean?
You know, Tuesday's when the gloves stop working, obviously.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. They also might talk to you occasionally. But anyway, anyone else? Do you want anything?
No, I don't want anything else from you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, you're welcome. Anyone else want anything? Anyone else have anything for me? No. Well, it was nice doing business, and he walks around the pole and disappears. Then he peeks around the pole. No, still here. Goes back behind the pole. You can still hear him, like, munching on something behind it, but, like, it's very crunchy, whatever it is. But anyway, so do you guys have anything else you want to buy from any of the other shopkeepers? Or anything you want to do? No?
I just want to make a note that before they go to bed, Seth wants to talk to everyone. But that's later.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else here specifically, the captain, also one of the shopkeepers, comes up and says, "Thank you so much for coming on board. It seems you got a lot of business out of him, and some business out of one of us. So thank you so much. We actually really appreciate it. We were about to head back to Bermsley, so that'll get us there at least. Have safe travels.
You as well.
Thank you." And he gets things all buttoned up and ready to go, waits for you, of course, to get off, and then flies away.
We can continue now, I tell to the platform.
And it gets moving. A short delay and some items gathered, both for money and for things. So yeah, you continue on.
After I attune, I'm gonna take a good look at that sack.
That's a great
for
idea.
Seth. I'm gonna do my
Speaking
daily
of
identify on it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of attunement, I'm attuning to the amulet too.
Okay.
Oh,
and
speaking of,
yes.
our attunement is based on proficiency bonus, right? That's still
correct.
a thing?
Yes.
Okay. Because I have 3 things that require it now.
Mm-hmm. And also, Sapling, your new thing, your gloves and horseshoes do require attunement. So that is a thing. But yeah, just make sure if you do require attunement, it's number of attuned things can be equal to proficiency, whatever that is right now.
3.
3. There you go. And yeah, so there you go. But you attune to it and you check the bag. You cast Identify. Huh. It gives you... You look at it and it reads the same as a bag of holding. but rather a sack of holding. This is okay. So this is a bag of holding. It works as a bag of holding, but it's much larger. In a way, I guess you could call this the inconvenient bag of holding, because it works the same, but occasionally, say on the roll of a D100 every day, a random item can fall out. And it is also really large and cumbersome. It's 3 feet tall. Like if it's when it's standing up, and it looks like it has items in it. Like when you set it on the ground, it looks like a bulbous full sack of things, but it's really light.
Wow. It's it's like a bag of holding. You can put things in it, but things could fall out of it every morning, and it's just kind of a drag to carry around. It's just kind of inconvenient.
I got it for free, so...
Fair enough.
I'll just leave it in my room. And he's actually going to leave it in his own room, not in Chiron.
Yeah. If we need to put anything in it, we can put stuff in it.
Yeah. You know what? I think we're gonna do our first roll of it for today. And I'll say for the first one, and this will become the thing for everyone. Seth, even or odd?
Odd.
Okay, so I have to roll odds every time. In order for something not to fall out of it. Something falls out of it. As you're carrying it up to your room, you're going up the stairs. Again, it's very light, so it's not really required to be dragged. You just kind of hold it. And as you're walking, something tunk, 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 falls down the stairs next to your foot. You kind of have to backtrack to see what it was. There's a red circular object. Looks like a red ball, but it has a weird slit in the back. And it's like plush, like it's made out of some type of plush material. Do you put it back in the bag?
No, he's going to look at it first. He's curious.
Make a investigation check. Or you can make a history check, see if you possibly know what it is. Because investigation, that's just looking at it. And you're not really going to get a whole lot of information there.
I'll take history. I mean, they're the same anyways. It's a 17 with my -1.
With history check?
Yep.
You saw something that kind of looked like this once. And you hoped you wouldn't see it again. I don't know. It's a clown nose. It's a red clown nose. But like one of the ones that you could put over your nose.
It goes back in the bag.
You open the bag, and this is what you hear. For the brief moment, I don't know if you have the music on. Oh no? No, you should put that on for a second. Until you close the bag. There's this boisterous, bouncy music, similar to what you heard with Lady Death. Not exactly, but the same type of vibe. And, yeah.
He's abandoning that in his bedroom.
Put it in a corner, never touch it again. And so
until
it's there.
We need to hide a body temporarily. I mean, what?
Damn, and Chiron savage.
No, that's me. I didn't say it in character voice.
I know.
So, before bed, before Seth gathers everybody to say things, Does anyone have anything they want to do throughout the rest of the day? The rest of travel goes mostly uneventfully. That was a random encounter, and that's really the only one for the day. Anyone have anything? If not, we will move on to set conversation with everyone else. All right. Well, Seth, you gather everybody. We'll say in the common area. Go ahead.
So, mentioned going to Baby, right? I had a thought. We didn't struggle a whole lot with that fight or anything, because we had a lot of people to back us. We're about to fight a lot more people. Could we maybe make a stop on the way?
Oh, sure, yes. Where?
The mountains, just by Favia, actually. It's where the monastery is. We could maybe convince some of the monks there to help us.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yes, that does sound like a good idea. This is
A lot of them
where
are pretty well trained, so they'll know what to do.
This is where you were trained, yes?
Yeah. I guess, mostly. For a couple of years.
Well, it will be nice to visit.
I guess so. As long as they don't try to make me scrub floors again. I might have to kill someone. I think it'd be nice, though. You could, meet the guy I took the name from. Grave Warden Sunker's the one who took me in. I think you'll get along with him in Chiron.
I hope so.
Should be fun. I feel like we're going on like a family meeting road trip.
Kinda. I mean, everyone's seen their family so far. Except Edna. If Edna has family.
That's an interesting...
Maybe we'll meet them eventually, too.
Maybe. I do remember there are some more nature-inclined people living around that area. Maybe they would know of Edna. I did a religion check on that already, earlier.
Well, true indeed.
Guess we could always see if they did. Or maybe ask Edna if she knows of them.
Yes, maybe.
Thanks for agreeing to go. It's not really off track. I mean, it is a little because you wanted to go around the mountain. It's in it, so we kind of have to go over instead.
A note for you, Seth, because that statement kind of, maybe not exactly, you don't have to. The way that you would have gone down the mountain would have taken you outside of Favia, but like when you had left, right? It would have been outside of Favia, but the actual entrance to the monastery is on the same side of the mountain as Favia. So you could take those stairs up. You could still go over using Valve, that is an option. But you could also take the staircase on the other side.
He's still gonna keep the same thing he said because he's impatient.
Okay.
So it sounds like we're going to be taking the gamble.
Taking the gamble.
Because we're taking Seth Lord at that.
Yes,
Let's go gambling on our travel time.
Let's go gambling. So, Seth, I want you in... Actually, no. Sapling, I'm choosing you at random here. I want you to choose even or odd. And I want you to send that in your character chat.
Oh, hell. I hope this doesn't fuck up my camera.
Oh, true. That is a thing. Hopefully it does
Am I
not.
sideways now?
I think so. Nothing changed.
Okay, good. This is just slightly difficult, but it's okay.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, I forgot.
No, challenges make the experience memorable.
Mm-hmm. And then, Seth, go ahead and roll me a D100. Cool.
Fuck.
Because, and we'll say what you sent, it works. And if it's the opposite, it does not. 50-50 shot.
77.
And what was chosen there, Sapling?
Even.
And it was odd, 77. So, like I said, 50-50 shot, D100. Good odds, I think. Okay. So you guys get to the base of the mountain. And Valve takes one step. And then another. And then continues on, going up the mountain. Taking the shallower slopes where they're available, and avoiding the big steep parts, you're able to make it a good way up. And you continue on. This cut a day off the travel time to Favia. However, you're not going there first, so it's really only another day to get up the mountain and to the monastery. Or I'll say a day and a half. And for that first day, it goes well, without much issue. And then you feel Valve lurch as one of the large feet crushes a section of soft rock and gets stuck. You hear mechanical grinding and whirring as it tries to pull the leg out and just can't quite get it out. And then one of the other feet, one of the ones near it, also down into the rock. This was an area of softer rock, and it just kind of gets stuck in there and isn't quite able to get out. At that point, Valve gives a notice. We are stuck. Manual maintenance needed. What do you try to do? How do you try to get... You are half a day on Valve out from the monastery. That would be about 3 days, maybe longer, over mountain on foot.
Problem is, normally this is an Chiron thing, and Chiron knows Valve, but,
Yeah, I mean, we can wait a second.
yeah.
Yeah, why are you buzzing when you speak? Is it happening with me too?
No.
No? Say something.
It happened earlier today, too.
Yeah.
Bitch. Is it still doing weird shit?
No.
No, it's fine now.
Weird.
It's so weird. It occasionally does it, yeah. Where's your gain on your microphone? Like, is that in the middle?
That is now.
That's where I usually keep it, as the middle. It usually prevents the buzzing.
Usually if I keep it in the middle, it doesn't pick up my voice correctly.
I don't know. Hello.
We stuck.
Yeah, the roll failed. It was a 77, and the odds were chosen at even. So, Valve's legs are stuck in the rock. It, like, some of the rock crushed in like a weird crevice area, and couple of the feet are stuck. So, how do you plan to get yourself out? You are half a day on Valve from the monastery, somewhere between 3 to 5 days, I'll say, out on foot. Because this is mountainous terrain.
Do we have, like... Can I get out where I can see what's causing this stickage?
100%. Valve is large and incredibly heavy. stepped on a looser section of rock. A couple of the feet slid and fell into a crevice. And there's kind of, because these feet, they don't go straight up and down. They sort of go up, raise at a slight angle, and go forward, or back and go backward. With how the legs are wedged in there, they cannot make that forward or backward motion. The legs would have to go straight up or down, which they cannot do. If some of the rock was broken away, either in front or behind, Valve could then be maneuvered out, but the rock would need broken or molded or in some way shaped. So that could be possible.
Okay, and what time is this at?
We'll say this is about 1 in the afternoon.
I will attempt. I don't really have much that can help with this magic-wise. But I can try shooting some magic missiles at the rocks if that's an option.
That is an option. My
I
question
won't
for you
hit
is...
Valve, so...
True. 100% an option. It could work. It's force damage. My question for you is, what level? And there are 2 legs stuck. Do you want to just try it with one and then see what happens before trying the other?
Yeah, I'll try it with one, and I'll do it at 2nd level for this one. So I believe that'll be 5 missiles.
I believe you're correct. Go ahead and roll the damage for me.
Okay, so that would be 5d4. Plus 1. Plus 5. 5d4 plus 5, because it's plus 1 for each missile.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that would be 18 damage force.
18. You do see some of the rock being chipped away.
And I'm trying to get the back so that the chip away goes, like, down the mountain instead of down the crevice.
Good to know. That does seem to help, but on that one leg it would need a little more. It just was a little under what was needed. Does anyone else have anything they want to try? The force damage did seem to have a good effect, though, I will say.
I am big, and I have big feet. So
try and kick the rocks.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make me just an unarmed strike. Actually, in athletics check, you're better at those now. Using your new horseshoes.
I am so happy. Holy shit. Remind me exactly what they did. Do I have... What did I...
Oh, the horseshoes?
You got plus 5.
Plus 5 to all athletics checks.
Plus 5. Okay, so... And then also my strength still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that is I can't think of anything funny, but a natural 20 for a total of 27.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit. 27. So you get down there, and there was some rocks that came loose from the magic missile before. You are able to just knock these big chunks out of the way with a swift kick, and that leg now comes free. So there is literally there is another leg stuck. What do you want to try for that one?
There's someone who hasn't done anything yet.
I know, that's what I'm waiting for.
I was looking. I don't have shit for this.
You
I can
could
try to
cast a
lose.
spell.
Yeah.
I'm scared of spells.
I know, that's why you should cast one.
I'll be next to you just in case something goes awry.
No.
I'll be
No,
right
Peepaw
there.
does not need to be anywhere near Seth during that.
I'll be at a safe distance away, but still in range to keep you safe if something goes awry.
Peepaw's right there just in case you implode.
About the best I have is Tasha's Caustic Brew, and I don't think that'll do anything because it doesn't say it does anything to like.
It's acid damage,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Dude, anyway, what's a rock got to do? Make a save?
Fair. Okay, we do that then.
What kind of
Dex
save?
save.
Deck save? Well, it's a
Yep.
mountain. It fails. If somehow it succeeded, I would ask lots of questions.
The
It's
mountain.
alive.
Literally, the mountain just nope gets out of the way. I am, however, for Valve. Actually, you go ahead, Seth, and make me a perception check to make sure you do not hit Valve with this, because it is a very tight spot that you're trying to not hit Valve, but then also hit.
23.
23? Okay. You're able to do so. What is the damage?
Seven acid, and I know I need to roll my 100.
Yeah, and you have the table, so
And-
you can just
And
tell me
it's
what
coated
happens.
in acid and takes some acid damage every 6 seconds.
Which, mainly the reason I wanted that first damage is just to be like, this is about how long it takes. I'll say it takes about a minute before that leg is free. But let's see what happens to Seth. Do you implode? Tell me what number it is. I'm curious. Oh, Jesus.
So it was 62.
Okay.
He does this anyways.
What is it?
For the next minute, you must shout when you speak. He's already loud.
Oh, that's really funny. Well, there you go. You just start shouting everything for the next little bit. Okay. Well, there you go.
We have freedom.
You have freed it, and so you and those of you that weren't on it get back on and continue moving for the next half day. Seth, you are getting to about the area where you know you need to be. You can see in the distance the monastery as you crest the little bit of mountainous rock. It is empty as it appears from the outside. You don't see anybody out at the current moment, though it is at this point pretty late. I would say actually early, rather. It's about 1 in the morning. So most people are probably asleep or out on watch. You do know, though, that you have 100% been seen. Valve asks if you want to stop as you approach before you actually get there.
We probably should.
Okay. So Valve sets down. And I was checking something. But you know you've been seen at this point. And so you sit down. It is again 1 a.m. What do you want to do at this point?
He's actually gonna get off Valve and wait outside in case they are approached.
Okay.
Basically taking night watch until morning.
And what are the rest of you doing while Seth takes that night watch? Are you resting? Sleeped. Got it. Okay. Sleeping. Well, you're sleeping. Seth, you take a night watch. Go ahead and make a perception check.
$25.
25. You are sat out there, and you wait, and you watch. You are expecting to see something. And for a good long while, you don't. You see not a person, not a sound. And then there's this movement that catches your eye, just faint movement near one of the rocks. And when you look over there, you hear a soft, damn it. And you see Kian, someone that you know from the monastery. And they walk up. How the fuck did you see me?
Not that difficult. You should have stuck more to the shadows.
Well, I tried. You see everything. You and Olakas.
Trained by the best.
Well, what the fuck?
I'm looking for some help. My friends are in there. Not that they need the help. That's technically our home now.
Saying a lot of words and none of it means anything. Why are you here exactly? What do you need help with?
Taking down some bad people. There's a lot more of them than I think my group can handle.
Okay. Sunker would have liked some notice. I'll let him know.
I probably should have thought about that myself.
Yeah, probably should have. Okay. I'll let him know. Just chill here for a bit. Somebody will come get you, probably in the morning. Do you know what time it is?
He's just gonna give him the most blank-ass look.
Okay. I know, but look up. You see that up there? That's the moon. You see how it's right above? That means it's nighttime.
That's why we sat down, so we didn't disturb anyone.
Yeah, big fucking metal thing walking does a great job of that on rock. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll woke up half the monastery. Yeah,
Oops.
fuck off. I'll let him know. He's awake. Just chill here, we'll get you in the morning. Don't die.
Sure.
Yeah. And then he's gonna kind of walk forward, like kind of like the arm out, like he's gonna give you like a half hug. Then he goes to punch you in the shoulder. What's your AC?
18.
Ooh, it's only like a 10. So what do? You see it coming.
I'm gonna duck and try to punch him in the gut instead.
Okay, get it.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Okay. Well, you're able to duck under, obviously, and then you go for a punch in the gut, takes it in the gut. Ah, fuck you. All right, fine. I tried. And he's going to turn and start walking back toward the monastery. You do, however, not too far away from you, lose sight. And vanishes somewhere into the shadow. Taking notes. You do, however, note somebody has made their presence very much known to you, but they have not approached and they have not said anything. Somebody is keeping watch.
It's fine. They can watch him. He'll watch for them.
Okay. And so you keep watching. Do you at all at any point go inside and rest?
No, he's just taking full night watch.
Would you have done so for that half day you had?
Yes.
Okay, so you do not get a level of exhaustion. Good to know. I think what I would like to do is I would like to go ahead and end there. I know it's a little early, but I will be able to properly plan out things for the next session then.
Yippee.
So we'll go ahead and end there a little early. And yeah, but thank you all for watching. As always, don't forget about all of the fun things on the way. We had no nat ones and no... Well, we had one nat 20 this session, actually. We had one. Hell yeah. So yeah, fun things on the way. Keep an eye out. Good night.